and so you see how she's manipulated this poor man. And I do feel sorry for her because she treated him like an errand boy. She emasculated him on national and international television. And now the man is wearing dresses that the Duchess of Cambridge has worn and is having surgeries to try and make himself look like a woman. And I feel sorry for Jessica Lange and, what's her name? Janice Dickinson, who people keep comparing him to. He looks like, he's literally turning into a woman. And it's a cry for help. It is a cry for help. And imagine how messed up his daughters are going to be by this and are by this.
Well, you can see that coming in them right now. Some of the things that, they're starting to transform themselves, and you see them, they're breaking down. And
right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so sad, but his manhood has not very literally, but maybe one day will very literally be cut off.
And he'll have to stand before God as a hot mess.
Right. Unless the truth comes. And it's possible, people, because revival is coming. And I try to end on a positive note. And as I've said before, there is no power that is not, I said that wrong. The Spirit of God is more powerful than any demonic spirit. It's more powerful than Satan. I mean, Satan can't stand a chance. Jesus is just letting him do his thing for the sake of free will so he doesn't have a bunch of robots serving him. Because it has to be this way. But, and because we opened the door for it to be this way through the fall and choosing to sin in the Garden of Eden. But God's Spirit is so much more powerful. And when revival hits, God saves unto the utmost. So it's going to be the untouchables, the people we think are so terrible, the Kanyes, and I hope Kim, and not just the Kardashians, but just anybody you can think of who is just so far gone. It could be Dennis Rodman. It could be, whoever, God can absolutely 1000% save that person. I'm not saying that exactly is going to happen, but it can happen. If you read Sean Smith's book, I Am Your Sign, which is a phenomenal book, it talks about various different revivals that have happened in different people who were, untouchable, who God saved. Dutch Sheets was one of those people. He was like the most rebellious dude, that guy on campus you don't mess with, but God saved him. The Bible says he saves to the utmost. It is absolutely possible that God can save Bruce Jenner and revert, and physically, some of the things may not be able to be reversed. Yeah. But God can still save him. And I've seen pictures, there was a video after all this business about Bruce came out, going around, and I don't know who did the interview, but it was a man who had become a transgendered woman who realized the error of his ways, came to the knowledge of God and lordship of Christ, and became a Christian. All tatted up, and he still had some feminine characteristics.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah.
That was the power of God, but something,
And let me tell you one thing he said. One thing he said in that interview is when he told the people of his church, because this man had a full life. He'd had kids. He thought he had a good life of marriage. I'm not sure if he had grandkids at this point. When he told the people of his church that he was going to do that, it was more like, okay. And this expression wasn't around at that time, but it was like, you go do you. And they left him alone. They didn't tell him. He said, it was almost like he was saying, why didn't they? I wish someone had told me no. I wish someone had told me to stop. I wish someone had interceded. Right. Not one person of his church interceded and said, stop.
Right.
Let's talk about this, brother.
We don't know. A lot of churches aren't churches. A lot of churches are social clubs. A lot of churches are hubs of philosophy, sort of like the Greeks. And Paul went to minister to them. They just wanted to hear something new. It wasn't so much that they were searching after the truth. They just liked discussing new things, And so a lot of churches, in the sense that churches are supposed to be churches that operate as hospitals to heal the sick. We're just having social club. You know, it's the thing to do. You know, the Kardashians go to church on their reality show. They're besides Duck Dynasty, and probably the Duggars, which I've never really watched the Duggars show. But, you know, besides Duck Dynasty, they're probably the only family that goes to church frequently on their reality show. It don't help them too much. But you know what I mean? Like, so that's just an example. You know, it's encouraging on one hand, but it's frustrating on the other. Because there are a lot of churches that are not doing what God has called them to do, and that is to preach the word in season and out, bring correction, be in the love of God. But, you know, when in Ephesians 4, when it talks about the gifts of the fivefold ministry, it's specifically saying that the gifts of the apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers, these gifts, irrespective of gender, I might add, are given so people cannot be tossed around to and fro by every wind of doctrine. And that is what we are missing out largely on. There are a lot of apostles out there who are not ordained by the Spirit of God. There are a lot of prophets out there who are not ordained and called to be prophets from the womb by the Spirit of God. You know, there are a lot of false teachers, there are a lot of pastors who are in it for the money or in it for wrong reasons, and God never called them to be a pastor, you know, and just things of that nature. And so the fivefold ministry, those who are in error, are going to have to stand before God and answer for that, because they're leading the people astray. But at the same time, we are in an era where there is more access to the Word of God than there has ever been on the face of this planet before. There is no excuse. Romans 1 says, forget technology. God has left us without an excuse. That's why everyone is going to have to stand before him on Judgment Day and answer, whether they had a church or not, because even creation testifies of who and what God is. And if you seek him diligently, you'll find him. And so we have a lot of lazy people who think they're comfortable with their Oprah Christianity. They're comfortable with their President Obama Christianity. They're comfortable with their version of the truth, but there is no such thing as your truth, my truth, our truth. There is only the truth, and the truth is a person, and his name is Jesus, and it is only him that can set you free. And so people really get twisted, and that's where Oprah gets twisted. That's where a lot of people get twisted. And I understand that we have our different perspectives and things like that, and we're individuals. And coming into God only magnifies the fact that we're individuals. Once we know God better, we know ourselves better, and we become more of ourselves. As funny as that sounds to some people, you know, but you can't have all these other false truths, because that's exactly what they are. You can even have, you know, a lot of the truth mixed in. But at the end of the day, it's still a lie. And you've still been taken, and you've still been deceived by the God of this world, who is Satan. So,
thank you. That is, I can't wait till you get your church. Thank you so much for giving us explanation of Jezebel, of telling us about your book, and giving us so much more information on scripture and doctrine. I appreciate your being on the show and sharing this with my audience. Every time you're on here, I learn so much, and I realize how much more I need to read of the Bible and get to retaining it like you do. And is there anything, okay, now I know when exactly is your book going to be released again, and where can people find it?
Okay. Well, it is available for pre-order now on Amazon. So you can go ahead and pre-order your book if you would like, or you can wait until November 10th, which is the big day. That's a Tuesday, where I'll be releasing it officially, and you can go ahead and get it there. Or, and I know I plugged this the last time I was on the show, but I've just recently launched an ebook club. And in the ebook club, and I didn't probably explain this hardly at all, actually, on the last show, but you can get access to all of my self-published and co-published ebooks, which at this stage is every single one of my ebooks. So now I'm preparing how I fell prey to Jezebel to release to that group as well. But you can get all those without having to go to Amazon and order or anything. You'll get PDFs of those delivered directly to you, and you'll get a monthly author chat, kind of like we're doing here, but not exactly. A tele event where we'll do like a little topic, which in November, it will be discerning the spirit of Jezebel. We'll pick a book and we'll pick a topic derived from that book, and then we'll get a chance for Q&A as well. And then you'll get to be part of an exclusive Facebook community where, you can interact with me as well as the other people in the group. And both the author chat as well as the Facebook community are exclusive. They will not be open to the public. And so you can get all of that for a special rate that I'd be happy to extend to you. And that's the ebook club. So you can go to my website, DesireeMMondesir.com/club, and check that out. And it's not a live link yet because I've only introduced it to my email list, but why not plug it to you guys as well?
Thank you.
So you can get that there. And you can go ahead and get my other books on my website as well.
Excellent. And this is a little business I'm going to handle with Desiree, but Desiree, this has been a perfect show. So I think what I can do is I can send you the audio, as soon as I'll send it to you by this evening.
Okay.
And I'll actually probably have it posted up on my Escaping the Maze site maybe by the next day. So you can just take it, put it on your blog post. So if you want to listen to this audio sooner before it's on escapingthemaze.com, I'm going to give it directly to Desiree if she wants to post it on her website, whenever she posts it. But it'll be on October 30th. You'll find this audio on the website pretty much raw, because I think all I have to do is just, do a little minor editing, and I will put it on the website, escapingthemaze.com. And as soon as it's up there, it'll be on iTunes and Stitcher under escapingthemaze.com. And everyone, thank you so much again. You've got to read Desiree's book. You've got to check out her blog. If you're not doing that and you're a Christian, I don't mean, but you're missing. I'm just saying, you're missing out. I mean, she has a lot of. Not only does she talk about her work, she makes a lot of other references to a lot of other people who are very good, I guess you say, sources of information. People who are really in the Spirit of God. Who, if you are in a time of your life right now where you really want to come into your Christian faith, if you really want to be in the body of Christ, this is a source of, her site is a source of information, plus the other people that she respects and some of the people that she listens to. It's a source. So it's a place to start. And for those of you who are already in the ministry, you may even know Tudor Bismarck, some of the other people she's talked about. So you say, yeah, this girl's on point. I know exactly what she's talking about. So you already know. So I'm grateful to have found her in my new studies in Christianity and coming into the body of Christ, and you will be too. Thank you so much, Desiree. Is there any other way anybody can contact you before we close the show that we should let people know about, or just your website?
Yes. And can I add something real quick?
Oh, sure.
I just wanted to encourage you. I thought about this when you were telling them just about, reaching out and finding me. This is the number one topic that people across the nation and around the world have come to my blog about. They usually find me in a Google search. And
I know.
Earlier this year, I got an email from a precious man in Austria. And he told me that he had a dream. And in the dream, a spirit, he said the name was like Jezebel or Isabel or something, and he didn't know who it was. And it came to him in a dream, and it was trying to get him to make some sort of contract or agreement with it. And he didn't feel comfortable, even though he didn't know who it was, and she was very beautiful and alluring, he didn't know why he shouldn't do it. And he turned her down in the dream. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
And when he woke up the next day, he Googled Isabel and Jezebel. And I'm not saying don't name your children Isabel. It's a beautiful name, but just I think it translates maybe differently in a different language. And so he found my website that way. And through that Google search and